There's something that contributes to success so much, and I wish someone had told me this so much sooner when I was younger. It took me so long to figure this out, and I'm going to tell you everything I know about it right here and right now. This success factor is the who you know factor, or maybe more precisely, the who knows you factor. And maybe you've heard about this before, right? This is what networking is about, building a professional network. No matter what field or career you want to succeed in, this is such an important factor. And I've experienced this myself. For example, in my early 20s, I got an opportunity to work with the largest distributor of computer hardware in my niche, and that was only because of who I knew. Also, both of my most successful businesses came out of partnerships, and I would have never been as successful had I not met those people and partnered up with them. Also, the first time I ever earned 5 figures in a single day was thanks to a connection I had. And also countless smaller opportunities, like being able to show up on people's podcasts and being able to collaborate with people in small ways and large. All of that comes out of networking. But I'm not just here to tell you, hey, you should network, bro. I'm actually going to break it down for you and tell you everything I know about how to make this work for you. So in this video, we're going to look at why this factor is so important, what it does and what it doesn't do for your chances of success. Then I'm going to share with you the strategies that I've used that have had the most success in finding and building these opportunities through networking. And I'm also going to tell you what to do if you're completely green, if you're a total newbie, you don't have a lot of experience or anything to bring to the table, and how you can get on the radar of valuable connections anyway. So to start, why is the who you know factor so important, and what does it and doesn't it do? We like to think that success is really all about hard work, and yes, that is important. Check out the previous video on this topic here, where we break that down. But even if you do the hard work and you build valuable skills, sometimes that is not enough. So for example, if you're a really talented artist, unless the right people know about you, unless you have good connections, you could be a talent who just never gets discovered. And the same is true for entrepreneurs, for creators, for careers in pretty much every industry, and for corporate careers as well. If you aren't in the right circles, if you aren't in front of the right people, you have much fewer opportunities. And that basically means your chances of succeeding are lower. But here's the important thing to understand. The who you know factor is an amplifying factor. Just having a great professional network, just knowing everyone, being a social butterfly alone will not do it. You have to bring valuable skills to the table. You have to have something to offer. And good skills and hard work are amplified by how many people you know. The more people know about you and know about your work, the more likely you are to find someone who can give you a great opportunity, who you can collaborate with, who can introduce you to the right person, and so on. So let's make it more practical. How do you do it? How do you open up those opportunities for yourself? The number one thing that has worked for me in my career is this: publish good work. The different partnerships and deals I mentioned earlier would have never happened if I didn't have a public body of work where people could discover me and see what I'm capable of. So here's an example. Many years ago, I created educational content and I created a course on the topic of SEO, search engine optimization. This work that anyone could find online showed what I was capable of. It established me as an expert in this niche, but it also showed that I was a good teacher and that I was willing to do hard work to create good products. Because of this work I'd published, a software developer got in contact with me and told me about the search engine optimization software that he'd been working on. And we ended up collaborating, building a business together, and that ended up being my first 7-figure business. This would have never happened without all the articles, videos, and the online course on the topic that I had published that helped people discover me. So if you want to make this happen for yourself, here's rule number 1. Create work that proves you are the kind of person other people want to work with. And because of that, rule number 2 is one you already know if you're familiar with this challenge. Your job is to ship. You have to publish your work, and you have to publish early and often so that you build up that portfolio that proves your expertise. Next, let's talk about how to make connections, because if you just create and publish work, then some people will simply find that work, right? People will stumble across your work and discover it. But that is not enough. You don't just have to sit there and wait and hope that someone finds you and an opportunity comes your way. So here are the things that worked best for me as a more active approach for building my network and bringing in these opportunities. The first is Meetups and workshops. Many times throughout my career, I have looked for opportunities to give workshops on the topics that I have expertise in. That can be online in the form of like seminars, webinars, but also in-person workshops. For example, I'll teach some entrepreneurial skill at a co-working space to other people who run their own businesses. You can do this at a very small scale and all the way to, speaking on stage, basically also depending on your existing network and your level of skill. This is a great way to show up as an expert and establish yourself, but it's also a great way to get to know people who could be potential clients, or get to know people who maybe know someone else you could partner up with. And in general, I found that doing this in person is quite a lot more powerful than online. So I would rather give an in-person workshop to 12 people than an online seminar to 100 people. I've just found that in person, you get that many more opportunities. Next, always find ways to play to your strengths. So for example, if I wanted to break into a new industry where I can't just show up and be an expert in that industry, I can still play to my strengths. Even in a new industry, I can look at things I can carry over. I could go there and teach marketing skills, communication skills, how to make videos, anything else from my field of expertise that carries over. And as you can imagine, even if I'm talking to, let's say, mattress salespeople, some of this stuff could be valuable to them. I could say, hey, I'm going to give you a communication workshop, and maybe it increases your sales skills. So even without topic-specific expertise, this is a great way to get the foot in the door and start getting to know the right people. Don't underestimate the many ways in which you can bring value into maybe seemingly unrelated spaces. You could do something like yoga and meditation for stressed out entrepreneurs, or fashion advice for luxury car salespeople. Look for opportunities to cross-pollinate what you already know with where you want to enter. Finally, really important tip, whenever you are reaching out to someone who's essentially on a higher rung than you, so more advanced in the field where you are trying to build a career, reach out with a "here's how I can help you" attitude. Most people who have established businesses, who are recognizable, who are experts in their niche, will get lots and lots of incoming messages. They'll get lots of people like basically begging, please mentor me, please do this for me, please do that for me. They also get quite a lot of, hey, how can I help you kind of questions, which is again giving them work, right? It's like, hey, I want to work with you, you tell me what to do. So to stand out from that, you really want to make it as easy as possible for them to get value from you. If you can make any kind of offer that is very easy for them to accept and costs them no time and money, your chances are much better than if you're just begging or sending generic messages. Finally, let's talk about something really important, especially if you're younger and you're totally green and inexperienced, because everything I've talked about is about you have a portfolio of work, you have all this expertise, and you leverage that to build your network. But maybe you're watching this and going, well, I'm not good at anything yet. I'm totally new to everything. So obviously you need to be doing the work, right? You need to be building your skills, publishing your work, but that doesn't mean you have to wait until you get better before you can start doing the networking. If you show up with an eagerness to learn and strong work ethic, you might be surprised at how welcoming industry veterans are. Many of them are happy to pass the torch and support newcomers in the industry, but you have to prove that you are worth their time. The biggest mistake you can make is to try and fake it till you make it. You have to show up as an honest newbie, and you can say, listen, I'm totally new, but like I said, I'm eager, I can work hard, and I can learn like a sponge. That makes you valuable. If you walk into a room full of experts as a newbie and you try to fake it, you try to pass it off like you already know more than you do, people will immediately see through that, and really nobody wants to deal with that. Building your skills and building your network and working your way up in an industry is a long game thing to do. But I think you might also be surprised at how quickly it can go if you dedicate yourself to this. This kind of climbing up the ranks can happen faster than you think, especially in small niches. 2 times in my life so far, I have entered a niche as a complete newbie, and I went from that to being one of the recognizable experts in that space in under 2 years. And in one other case, it took me about 4 years to make that transition, which also isn't really that long, all things considered. If there's just one thing here to remember, I think the most important factor is work ethic. That is a rare trait, like to see someone who can really go after it, really get things done and sees things through. That is a rare thing to see, and that can make you valuable and someone veterans want to connect with even if you're new. And this is yet again a reason why it's so important to be practicing your skills and to be publishing your work. So yes, I know I sound like a broken record, but this again is a reason why your job is to ship. You see, if I come across someone's body of work and it's like 5 pieces, right? They've done 5 things and each is super polished. That is not nearly as impressive as if someone has 100 things and I can see a progression over time where they're getting better and I can see that they do a lot. So those are the things that worked the best for me to open up doors and networking opportunities that have made a huge difference to my personal success. These are all the things I wish someone had told me when I was much, much younger. Use this wisely and it will be rocket fuel for your career. If you have any questions about this topic, leave them below by leaving a comment. And if you have your own stories to tell or other examples that could help other people, why don't you also share that by leaving a comment below? And in case you haven't seen it yet, make sure to watch this video next. It is basically the prequel to the video you just watched and talks about the 2 most important factors you need to build skills and build success in any field.